Hello everyone, this is a video in my series Shadowwork, and I haven't done one for quite some time, so I just wanted to answer a few questions. And the first one was about trauma dumping on animals, so especially pets. And I've done a video quite some time ago about trauma dumping between friends, family, contacts, colleagues, that people just come to you, start telling them all their problems, all their issues, and really are just taking your energy, and then they leave you. They got your energy and you're completely, drained of everything. That's trauma dumping. And if they keep it up, in a true relationship, contact, friendship, there is a balance. So people will listen to you as well. But mostly people that trauma dump are not very interested in other people's traumas. They just want to talk about themselves, their trauma, and they really just want to dump things, feel better, and then move on. And when other issues arise, they'll start dumping on you again to get your energy. That's trauma dumping. Someone asked me if this is happening with pets, animals as well. Yes, this can certainly happen with animals as well. Unfortunately, now we have, of course, that a lot of people have gotten the stings. This has an effect through shedding, that the protein also gets into the animals, of course, that they deal with. I've noticed it myself with the dogs I dog sit. Fortunately, their bosses, the dog bosses, well, they're the owners, the dog owners. In the Netherlands, we call them the bosses, baasjes of the animals. That's why I was translating it to bosses, but it's the owners of the dogs. They completely boosted, and I don't know what they've got. But you can see the decline in the health of Finn and Liv because of it as well. They've got a lot more things going on there. Of course, it's not necessarily that someone gotten the stings, because it has to do with the energy. So if someone got the sting or not, but do not work with their shadows, do not do anything with their negativity, their fears, their angers, they will, because pets are so connected with their owners, they will transfer that energy as well on their dogs, cats, pets, and they can get sick as well. And especially now with the stings, there are more illnesses suddenly popping up with all these pets. And also the trauma dumping. If someone is very lonely, very negative, they can completely focus on their cat or their dog, and that will have an effect on the animal. They can get sick as well. So that's very, very sad, but it does happen. So trauma dumping on animals do happen, and pets, they love their owners, and there's of course a reason that they're there as well, but they take on a lot of the energy of the owners. If the owner is aware of it or not, and especially when they're not aware, not working with their shadow, really are not changing anything in their energies, then that will have an effect, unfortunately, on the pets. The other thing I wanted to talk about is mirroring, because I had a question. Well, if you are, I'm not sure what the person used anymore. It was a very extreme example. But just to explain what the person was talking about, but if you want to please people, wouldn't you be, drawing pleasers as well? Because that's the mirror. So the mirror of things in your life, that what you attract, the people you meet, is not necessarily a literal mirror. It can be in a way, but it's more the pattern that you're used to. So when you grow up and you are brought up by a family that is not very keen on really connecting with their children, because that's not what they were taught. So they give you the feeling that you're not important, and that you have to, adapt to your parents. You have to do what they want you to do, not have a mind of your own. Then you will grow up thinking that pattern is normal, and you will draw in other people that will be dominating you in one way or the other, because that's what you're used to. And that, of course, in essence, is something you want to heal or not. It depends on how that feels for you. But you will see that mirrored by drawing in people that, don't respect your boundaries, that want you to adapt to them and not a different way around. That's how you see the mirror of the pattern, not necessarily that it's going to be a mirror of you. You're not going to draw in all these pleasers, because if you've only surrounded yourself as a pleaser by people that will please you, you're not going to know that you are a pleaser. So it's it's a different dynamic. So what you see mirrored in your life is not like a completely literal mirror of you. It will be the patterns, the things the convictions you have. So if you believe that you don't deserve love, then you will attract partners that will not be respectful to you or loving to you, because that is what the pattern is. That's why it's interesting to look into your life, and if things are not going in a certain area the way you want it to, look at what's going on. What is holding you back? What is the conviction behind it? What is the pattern? That's why your life mirrors the patterns that you carry with you, especially with the law of attraction. A lot of people are like, well, I want to manifest a certain amount of money. I'm just going to take this as an example. And they'll start focusing on that, and they're not supposed to think negatively. So just focusing on manifesting a certain amount of money. And they might be able to manifest it, but because their convictions deep down inside are that they don't deserve it, they need to work hard before they can receive money, they will find something else. So some money will be coming in, and then their washing machine will break down or something else will happen. So that the money that they have will be spent on that. And that's the energy. That's why it's so important to look at what's going on. Why is it so difficult for me to receive things or to manifest money in my life? What is going on there? Or manifest love? Or do I love myself in a way that is kind of a mirror? So if you're lacking in things, then what is going on inside of yourself that is drawing that in? That's why the law of attraction does work, but you need to look deep inside yourself, what your true convictions are. What is it that I'm really feeling about myself? Because that's what I will see. Those are the things that I will encounter. If I don't really truly stand for myself, I will meet people that will walk all over my boundaries, because I need to learn to stand up for myself. And I'm not going to do that if no one is going to walk all over them, because then I won't know that I don't have any boundaries. So there is a difference in mirrors, in how you can see it as a mirror. I do believe everything is a reflection, but it's about patterns. It's about what you still believe in, your belief systems. It can be more covered up. Sometimes it's you need some deeper insight to figure out what the true threat is that you encounter certain situation. But most likely there's like this threat going through everything, that maybe you just don't feel good enough, or you feel like you're less than, and then that will be translated in all kinds of situations at your job, in relationships, that you will never be respected, or that you're not going to get the job that you want, or the thing that you want. It is all connected with how you feel and how you see things. So the mirror doesn't have to be like I mentioned, like an actual mirror, but it shows you things. And the most important thing, and I also kind of in my Dutch video was had some difficulty maybe really truly saying this, but the more balanced you become, the more balanced your life will be. So what you see as a mirror will be the imbalance that is going on. So and of course, if your life is going perfectly as you want it, and of course you already are in balance. But if there are areas that you're like, this is not going very well, what's going on here? Then it's time for you to look inside of yourself and see what the pattern is and what the energy is behind this. Because the more balanced you will be, then you will be drawing in balanced people as well. Because it may seem different, how to say this, like if you're the pleaser and you're attracting these people with narcissistic tendencies because they want people that please them, then if you attract them, you're like, I'm the one suffering here, but ultimately the other person is not in balance as well. There is, especially with people with narcissistic tendencies, deep down inside, they don't feel secure at all, except they've chosen a different route to deal with that, or different route. Is it route or route? I think route. Different way to deal with that. So you actually see something that will trigger you. And of course, like I said, if you're a pleaser, you will be triggered by people that want you to please them, to adapt to them. And of course, this person also is not in balance. So ultimately, the more balanced you will become, the more balanced people you will draw in. That will be like a mirror in that way. But as long as you are not in balance, you will draw in other people that are not in balance, and they can have different way of dealing with things. Like in a relationship, it's very possible that you would be the sensitive core. You're the one that carries the emotions, and maybe you draw in a partner that is not connected to his or her emotions and will, leave that part up to you. They can be very tough or very closed, isolated, and that you're the one, in a way, also a pleaser, but then more in an emotional way. So for you, it's important that you, stand your ground more and not take on the emotional responsibility of someone else, so that you stay with yourself. And the other person could learn, if they're open for that they need to deal with their own emotional needs and their own emotional, the emotions inside of themselves, and not project it on someone outside of themselves. So when there is this imbalance, people can learn, of course, and that's up to them if they want to or not. But for personally for yourself, if there are areas in your life that are just not going the way you want them to, look inside and see what the pattern is, what the energy is behind it. And like I said, it is more a mirror of the patterns than it is like literally a mirror that if you draw in all people with these narcissistic tendencies, that you are someone with narcissistic tendencies. That's not completely how it works. Other people and situations will trigger the pattern that is there for you to heal. So that was what I wanted to talk about mirrors. I've got the trauma dumping for animals, and then I also wanted to talk about money. Someone asked me, what is the energy of money? And to me, it is neutral. And I understand that there are people with different perspectives, but it's just energy. It's an exchange of energy. Of course, the dark energies have created all these corrupt financial systems. They have taken money and made it something so they can control people. There's a lot of dark energy attached to money. And also in religion, money was the root of all evil and awful things. While in essence, it's just an exchange of energy. I don't see money as negative. It's your intention, what you do with it. You can do a lot of good with money. There are a lot of people that are being helped by giving, maybe donations or other forms of ways you can help people or help organizations. So money, to me, it's neutral. It's what you do with it and how you use it. But I do understand, just like with tarot cards and with symbolism, that a lot of things have been corrupted in a way. The symbols, the dark energies are not original. So they've taken symbols and they've inverted it, they've changed it. With the tarot cards, there are people that are completely against tarot cards. They see it as something awful. To me, it's just symbolism. And I use it as a tool to focus my intuition. That's really what I do with the cards. It's just about the energy. So to me, tarot cards are quite neutral. It's what you do with it. That's how I see everything pretty much. Everything in essence is like a neutral energy. It's what you do with it. It's that intention. The dark energies use things because they want to destroy things. They want to control things. And you can feel that, you can sense that. But money itself to me is neutral. I just see it as an exchange of energy. But of course, it's your perspective, how you see things and how you feel things. But I don't think that money itself is the root of, evil or awful things. It's what people do with it that makes it awful. And that's, like I said, you can do a lot of good with money as well. Because to me, it's neutral. But see how it feels for you. But someone asked me that question. What is money and how do you see money? But I don't see it as... I do believe that later in time that we won't be needing any money at all. Especially when we become more spiritual. There will be more an exchange in a different way. But ultimately, I do believe that money is just neutral. It's what someone does with it that has the effect. So I'd like to leave it at this and hope to see you in another video. Bye.